For those just starting out, to those who built their reputation in the detail industry, navigating the course is a daily grind. This is Play-by-Play with industry professionals, tackling topics and offering tips to help improve your game plan. Now, here's your play-by-play.
All right.
Hey,
What's up,
what's up,
everybody? All right, we're back again with the lunch break edition play-by-play. And of course, I got Ryan and Lexi with me.
Hey, y'all.
And man, today we have a huge lineup. We're continuing our training session going on, and we've got the wonderful Miss Jennifer Turcotte coming on with Carsmotology.
That's right.
And she's going to be talking to us about training, how she got in the industry, what she does with IGL, all the questions that all these detailers want to know. I'm sure that everybody's been watching her, following her. Well, we're bringing her on to talk to her a little bit about it. And if you know Jennifer, you know that everything she puts her hands on is absolutely perfectly flawless, right?
That's right. And you've seen her on YouTube videos. I've seen bunches of them. She is meticulous when it comes down to really taking her time to make sure that everything she touches is perfect.
Yeah, that's right.
And Ryan, she uses eco-friendly IGL products. And if you guys watched last week's episode, you know that I'm a huge fan when it comes to eco-cleaning products at my home.
Is that like the Miss Basil or whatever it is you use?
That was Mr. Sage, I think.
Oh, okay.
Guys, it's Mrs. Myers, okay? I'm going to have to bring it to work next week to kind of teach you something about it, okay?
All right, so to each his own on the cleaning products. We went through that last week. But IGL products are great. And we know that Jennifer knows all about them, and we're super excited to bring her on and tell us all about it. Before we get into digging into that, let's talk about some food.
Yeah, today we're not going to be doing any kind of nibbling today. We've got big boy food coming up from the Chalkboard Kitchen. They offer a little bit of everything, like down home Southern food, to these massive clubs that we're going to have today. I can't wait to try it. But Dustin, you're a regular there, aren't you? What do you usually get?
Yeah, so we go up there every Thursday because they cook my favorite Nashville fried hot chicken, and it's like a battered in Tabasco sauce or something. And literally, you cut into it, and the hot sauce just kind of rolls over the plate, man, and it is phenomenal. We're there every Thursday, and I'm pumped about having them on the show for sure.
What I'm talking about. I'm looking forward to good food, and can we take a nap? Maybe a good nap after.
You're not getting a nap, Ryan. You're not getting a nap.
But speaking of a good time, Dustin took to the skies this week. You want to tell us a little bit about your adventure?
Yeah, I did. So if you follow me on Facebook, you saw the live of myself and my wife doing this plane ride. This was our anniversary trip. We went over to Pensacola Beach. This was kind of special to us because that's where we used to date. And I surprised her with a plane ride. And this was no ordinary plane. This was a small plane. And we rented it, and we just toured the beach. We went over Navarre and then back across Orange Beach. And she was absolutely ecstatic, so excited to be on that plane, really excited about the takeoff and the landing for sure.
I think you said terrified wrong, Dustin.
Yeah,
she looked a bit scared on that.
You know,
ride.
she was a good sport about it. She had a lot of fun, and we really did. It was a great day. But leading up to that, I had shot a live on my Facebook, on the Detail Bookie MVP group earlier that day. And what that group is about is those are our paid customers. All the Detail Bookie users get access to this group. But the live was about how I could leave for the day and know that this shop was running fine. And I think that conversation plays right in the hand that we're going over our training. And, in order to leave your business like that, you need to have the things in place to be able to do that.
Absolutely, Dustin. I think it speaks to the processes that you have put in place here at EZN as far as being able to structure that so that you can step out of it. Because if you had to do every single job and you were the only person that could do that job, then you wouldn't be able to do those things.
That's right. Yeah. If you're in the mindset that I'm the only person that can do this particular job at your company or in your business, then you're going to be the only one that's doing that.
Yep.
And there's no way to grow. So we take the mindset here at EZN to train each other. We're always kind of each one teach one mentality. And there is no, well, this person's going to take my job. It's how can I train them to take my job so I can go with an existing employee base. You typically start out 1 to 2 people, and then you kind of grow over time. And we have 27 employees here at Easy In and Detail Booking. And the reason that we've been able to get that way is because of processes that we have in place. And, you know, scaling up just takes time, and it takes making sure that you understand each position and you know how to teach it. So.
That's right. And so you also have to think about when you're choosing that person. So you're looking for a right-hand man. You want to make sure that that person can not only learn what you're going to teach them so they can learn your job, but they've also got to be able to teach the person that you bring on after them their job so they can then move up.
You know, and we had conversation earlier about this today, Lexi, you know, kind of that quick to hire, quick to fire.
Yep.
And then you had a really interesting perspective on it with whether it was, you know, if an issue was will or skill.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was really creative way to ask it. So if you're having an issue with training someone and you identify, is it a will problem or a skill problem?
Right.
And then you can address that.
And it makes it easier too, because if it's skill, you know, it's something very simple that you can teach.
Yeah.
If it's a will issue, then it's one of those things you either coach them up or you coach them out.
That's right.
So either they want to be a part of the team and they want to be able to do the things that you do, because at the end of the day, it's your business, right? You want to have a certain level of professionalism, and you want to make sure that when these jobs are going out, it would be the same quality as if you did the job yourself. And processes and training plays the major role in that.
Yeah. And if you don't know how to teach someone your job, then you don't truly know your job. So if you don't know the reason that you're using the tool or the compound or the pad, if you don't know the reason why you're doing that, then you can't teach it. So you need to make sure that you're educated enough to know the reason why you do the things you do.
Right.
So that way you're confident and you can teach the one behind you. You know, there's nothing more exciting than we bring on a new team member here at Easy In or Detail Bookie, because that's an opportunity for all of us to grow.
Right.
If someone else comes in and takes over some of those roles, then that allows you to go a little bit higher and a little bit deeper into your skill set and be a better, you know, be a better employer, be a better owner or whatever. So, you know, we look forward to it, but,
you know who I think would agree with that? Our lovely guest today, Jennifer Turcotte.
Oh, absolutely.
Carsmotology.
Yeah, let's bring Jennifer on. Let's hear what she has to say. She's the owner of Carsmotology. So,
hey, Jennifer.
What's up?
Oh, how is everybody?
Going great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Good. So you know me. I'm Dustin. Of course, I don't know if you've met Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
Ryan, and then I think you and Lexi have talked before.
Yep.
But we're just gonna dig right in if you're good with that.
Let's do it.
Okay. So first question I kind of wanted to ask. I know that there's a lot of detailers that are always interested in how other detailers got in the industry, and you know, I think we'd love to ask you. You know, what landed you in the detailing industry?
So I mean, I would say that, I mean, it kind of started when I was working at a car wash, at about 15. Then I went to the dealership. Both those jobs didn't last too long just because I didn't really take anything seriously when I was that young. But then when I was 19, I worked at a full service car wash detail center. And that's when I just I started taking things a little bit seriously. I went through some hardships growing up. I mean, I dropped out of high school after losing a family member. And then, but I don't know, I just I love working hard. I'm more of like a hands-on sort of person. And I love, you know, I love the transformation. I love the, you know, just kind of like the after effect of, you know, how a car looked. Oh, wow, look at that. But I mean, I got into it when like I was just working at the car wash. Okay. And then I would every time it was slow. I mean, I'm the kind of person where I don't want to just stand around and wait for work to come to me. Like I find work to do. So I would walk past the detail bay and I'd go in there and I'd start clay barring. And then I started doing interiors, and then I wanted to learn how to use the rotary. And so, I mean, after I'd say maybe about a year and a half, they ended up bumping me up to supervisor. And then after about 2 years, that's when I was, I mean, pretty much running the place. And the owner was kind of like a dad. And so, I don't know, he kind of set the bar for me because he was kind of like, kind of talked to Lexi about it. He was a little bit of a boot camp instructor. So if like the windows weren't done at the end of the dry bay, you know, he would come back with like a vacuum attachment and throw it at us and throw out some choice words. And I'm like,
we need to implement that here at Easy In. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Right,
I've heard people like, I'll go to shops and they'll be like, can you do that sort of like effect over here? Like, see how it works. But I just kind of like, so after that happened, I ended up, you know, I was starting in the vacuum bay maybe, but I would run all the way down to the driveway, making sure that there was
take care of those windows.
Everything was fine, or else I'd bring it back around, fix it. And that sort of thing. So that's just kind of, that got me started.
Can you
And
tell
just
me a
seeing
little bit
people's
about,
faces.
sorry, I was going
Sorry.
to ask about the IGL connection. When did you partner up with IGL?
So I started using, I kind of got introduced to IGL. There was, I was using a couple other brands, but there was a guy that was well, he was the detailer at the shop I was subcontracting out of. And he was using IGL, and just kind of like a stubborn sort of person. I mean, he was wiping it on and then going over to his toolbox and smoking his little fruit vape pen or whatever, and then on his phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? You know, like usually you apply a coating on, you got to wipe it off right away. And so then he's like, no, Jen, here, take a microfiber, wipe it off. And so I was like so amazed by it, but I was sketched out. So I tested it out for kind of like a year and a half, trying to see if it was durable and if, you know, it held true. And then I tried other products along the way. And so I just kept getting like addicted to trying new stuff of theirs, because they have, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 different products. So once I kept using them, I was about it.
I remember when you came out to my site and did a demo and training session on it, and I was blown away because we use another product, and we still, I mean, we have a great relationship with you guys at IGL, and if we were to ever go anywhere, it'd be that way. I mean, we know Joel very well, and yourself, and appreciate everything that you guys have done. But we were blown away when the product we use. I mean, it's got about a 15 to 30 second flash time, and it's work. And she was going around this car, and she's like, we're gonna do like half the car, and then we're gonna give it a minute, and we're gonna go back. And I'm just like, what? Are you crazy? Like, we're fixing to be polishing this car again. It's what we're fixing to be doing. And I mean, the product's absolutely excellent. Matter of fact, our our office manager still has it on her car. We put it on her car to kind of test it out, and it's still doing great to this day. So.
Well, Jennifer, I have a question, especially when it comes to your training, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. Do you train the detailers on techniques just for IGL products, or are you teaching them, you know, just skills that they can apply no matter what products that they're using in your training?
Ooh, I mean, I guess, I mean, a little of, I don't know if I should say a little of both, because I mean, I'm a detailer first, but the thing is me being a detailer, I mean, these are the products that I use. Like, I love using IGL stuff. So, I mean, regardless of if we're using IGL, if they don't want to use IGL, I don't like to push. Oh, she found the treat. I don't like to push product on anybody, but these are products that work for me, and I've tested them out, and so I mean, yeah, if they come to a training, that's pretty much all I use. So
I'm sure it's hard not to teach technique if you're applying the product anyway. So, you know, if they're watching, they're going to learn technique along the way. Now, it's probably specific to that product at that time, but it's technique that they can take elsewhere. You taught us I'll tell you one thing that we still remember to this day, and we still use it, is the poster board trick. And how I didn't know, looking for high spots with a poster board, it has truly changed our life here at ECN, because we used look, we got a whole stack of them. Yeah, I know. And it's things like that. And that's what's awesome about networking with other detailers and having people come over to your shop, you know. And I know Ryan was out at a detail shop the other day, and he's like, don't you know the guy down the street? And he's like, no, that's my competition. And dude, we want everybody around here to know us. We want to talk to them. We have them over at our shop all the time, because that's how you learn things. I mean, you know, especially in training, but to be able to network with other detailers and learn things, it's just really cool.
Right. I love helping out.
Yeah, absolutely. So you came on site with us and you did a training session. But can you tell, for the guys that don't know, that may be interested in IGL, what does that look like? What do you come on site and what do you do? Let's tell them about it.
Okay. So, I mean, when I go on site, I kind of like to have I usually have almost everything with me. If I'm going on site, or if I'm like having people come to the shop, usually, I mean, to be completely honest, when it's just me, I don't like to have really large groups. I mean, I usually like to keep it small, around like 5 people, just because I want to make sure that I'm giving everybody that individual training that they need. When it comes to going over training, I mean, I like to go over, you know, obviously the products, the paint correction process, the application of the coatings. I do consultations with my customers. I really like to have that customer relationship with them, because I mean, it's not like I even try, I'm just very honest with them. And like, that really builds that trust. So kind of finding out what's best for them and their vehicle is very important for me. and not just having them piss away money. I mean, that's just not,
Right.
that's just not really how I am. And then maintaining the vehicle, like maintenance is key.
Mhm.
But
And
sorry,
speaking
I
of
think I wrote
maintenance,
something.
that's one of the, yeah, speaking of maintenance, that's one of the big things in our industry that needs to be resolved. That's, all these promises that came out when ceramic coatings really hit the market strong was, this is going to last forever. This is something that's, it's a lifetime solution. And in reality, it was a lot of over promises and a lot of customers that were left kind of holding the bag. And the maintenance is sold with the product, and it doesn't matter what you're applying. You've got to make sure that you're maintaining that, or you've got the customer has an understanding of what they need to do, because the coating is not bulletproof. The coating is not going to last forever unless it's maintained properly. And, you've got the benefits of the coating when it's maintained properly, but any coating, it doesn't matter what it looks like, 18 months in, it's just going to look brutal if it's not maintained. And it doesn't matter lifetime, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, whatever, all that junk, it doesn't matter if it's not maintained correctly.
Right.
What do you think the most important thing that a detailer should take away from a training course with you?
Oh, I mean, installation. I mean, I like to also kind of cater to, everybody. I like to know exactly what they want to get out of it. So then I can kind of, because I know what I want to teach, but also I know that there's sometimes that people already know a certain level of something. So I just want to, I'm sorry, you guys, I got to just let my dog out. She's crying. But
so the training is really specific. I mean,
they are very specific.
Awesome yeah.
That's why I kind of want to make sure that it isn't too large of a group. Let me just, I'm sorry, you guys, just give me 1 second. Gotta leave this open, otherwise she's gonna start crying and scraping at the door. She can be very
We've got a few shop dogs as well.
Yeah,
so.
we do. We can relate. We're like kicking them under the table right now.
Like 4?
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 dogs running around here. Matter of fact, a funny story is our Christmas party. We give awards out to all the employees. And then we have a vote for like employee of the year. And then we have a vote for dog of the year. And we give the dog a trophy and all that here at our shop. So
is it edible?
We can relate.
The trophy? Is it edible? Like
no, it's not. It's a real trophy.
Okay.
No, we go all out. Yeah, we go all out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sorry.
How do you stay?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna go back to the question. What was the question again? What was the?
I was just talking about the most important thing that a detailer would take away from one of the training courses with you.
Oh, I mean, I think, the white poster board trick. There
you go.
And it's
installation.
And it's so unique to what people are going to pick up from, because it's so specific to their needs. And, with you asking them and saying, hey, you probably, if I'm already a professional, at polishing a car, we don't need to spend the next 4 hours showing you how to polish a car, let's go over product install or cool little tricks.
But there's some things like, people want to know how to market. People want to know how to deal with customers. People want to know how to, I think it's very important. One thing is how to polish black paint and how to ceramic coat it and not leave high spots, because there was a bunch of trainings that a couple of trainings that I went to where we worked on a pearl white or a silver car. And I'm like, this is really cool and all, but what happens when I go home in the real world? And then I'm sitting there fighting the paint, throwing down my buffer, crying. Yep. It's only happened a couple times, but there's been a couple times where I'm just like, oh my God, I want to go home. I've been here for, 12, 16 hours.
Yeah. So you cry over jobs too? I'm not the only one that's cried over a job. Like I've literally laid on you gotta be kidding.
There's been a couple times.
Yeah, we can relate.
After a long week.
Well, as a trainer, how do you stay up to date, Jen? As a trainer in this industry, how do you stay up to date with new techniques? And I have a question of, do you have a mentor? Do you have somebody that you look up to? I know you talked about a couple of people who view you as a mentor. I've seen that on Facebook as well.
Yeah. So keeping up to date with new products. When it comes to, I don't know, I just kind of I also like to stick with what I know and what works for me. So, when it comes to the IGL stuff, yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I guess I don't really veer too far off trying to find out new things unless, I see it and I'm like, oh my God, wow. I definitely need to teach that. But mentors why, Joel LaPalme, he's literally like a dad to me. I could sit there and listen to that guy talk for weeks straight and just soak it all in. Definitely him. You know, Jason Rose is definitely another one. There's a decent amount of people in this industry that, I mean, honestly, Dustin, I mean, I could probably like, I would want to learn some stuff from you too. I mean, just knowing where you're at right now, it's pretty unbelievable. But when I first got started, I mean, I do find when you first get started, there is like, you should have a core group of mentors, people that, you know,
absolutely
get different opinions from everybody. Because when you start your business, everybody kind of wants to come at you and give you all these ideas, and you should do this and you should do that. And it's like, I got to get different opinions before I just kind of pull the trigger on some stuff, because it could be time wasted and money wasted. And
yeah, and in the industry, there's always that new product that's coming out, or there's this new hype or new, you know, like fad that's coming through. And like at our shop, it takes, so, you know, it's hard to implement like a new product. And so we stick to what works. And I'm pretty sure Jennifer feels the same way. Like, if, you know, your go-to, I mean, you don't want to be crying over a car every day. You know, you want to know what's going to work. And when you grab it, you want to go with it and not have to, you know, concern yourself. And then you're promising the customers, hey, this is, yes, exactly. You're, you know, they're depending on you to be, you know, to know your product. Right. And if you're trying new things every day or every other day, you know, you're chasing your tail. And you know, I know we, you know, we all, obviously we try out some new stuff here and there, but we're very reluctant to bring in, just grab something new and try it out and throw it on a customer's product. We really want to test it out. Right. So
now, Jennifer, we know Dustin's the man, but he doesn't have his own product named after him. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the Gin KO mix?
Yeah. So, I mean, as a detailer, I'm always trying to like save time and money. Whoa, look at that. So what I did is, you know, I was sitting here in Minnesota, a lot of people, you know, they'll go through those drive-through washes, and some people a lot of people have hard water at home when they're washing their vehicle. So, you know, water spots are pretty prominent in the door jams. So I was sitting there going over, and like delete by IGL. I don't care what anybody uses, like any sort of product, company, whatever, everybody should have delete in their arsenal. This stuff is fantastic. Yep. So, you know, working with hard, stubborn water spots, I mean, I was using that, and I would go over the water spots on the door jams. That would take it off. Then I had a spray bottle full, and of course, you know, when you're using something like that, you know, I wanted to neutralize it afterwards. So I take the spray bottle with just water and a little bit of IGL wash, which is our car wash shampoo, and sprayed that on there, wiped it. And then I went over it with enhancer to just kind of add some more slickness and, you know, durability, hydrophobics, whatever. And then after that, I was like, I did it once literally. And I'm like, okay, that took me 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, how would I just kind of like, I'm like, how would I just mix this all together and see what happens? So I started using it on door jams, and it's funny because I have helpers every once in a while. And like, I think it was like 2 years ago, and it's so cool to like talk to them now. They're like, hey, you know, like 2 years ago we were using this, and now it's like, but we were using it on door jams, and then all of a sudden I'd use it on windows and wheels, because, you know, after everything's all done, usually there's still like a little bit of dried water or crap on the wheels. So I'll like spray the wheels, the calipers, or when we're pulling them off the car and they're not too dirty or anything like that, you know, I'll kind of spray it like a little bit of a waterless wash, but kind of gets through what a quick detailer won't. So door jams, windows, wheels, calipers, and emblems, because you can't use delete on windows. You shouldn't. I mean, if you're quick about it, you can, but you don't want to be hammering down on the windows with that stuff. So, I mean, it works on that. It works on vinyl and matte wraps. There's people that have water spots on vinyl and matte wraps, and they were trying everything. And then I'm like, just try this and tell me what you think. And 20 minutes later, they're like, oh my God, like you saved me so much time. And, you know, so some people are suggesting
and I can speak to the delete for sure. Like you left some with us, and we used it, man. And it's awesome. I mean, it was great for water spots, but you had to go in and neutralize. Then you got to protect afterwards, because it was basically stripping everything off. So the fact that you've come up with kind of an all-in-one solution is fantastic. I want to get my hands on some of it and try it out. Speaking of trying new products, I'd like to try that one out.
No, I mean, definitely, I got your address, so I can definitely send a bottle up. Cool. I think one of the biggest that I didn't even really realize until it just came out, pre-mixed, is I'm like, oh my God, this whole time, like now I pretty much sell it to everybody who gets a ceramic coating or a paint correction, because then I'll ask them, I'm like, do you have hard water at home? Like, how are you washing your vehicle? And mostly, like, not everybody has a DI water system at home, you know? So
Mhm.
all they do is like after they get done, they can just spray down the little stubborn areas, because we used to not have a water system here. And so every time we do a hand wash on our cars, because I work in a car shop, so we do all the hand washes on them afterwards, we'd pull it outside and there would be water dripping from the mirrors or the back tail lights or whatever. We'd wipe it, but it would still leave that, water spot line, but you spray it
stain.
once and you wipe it. So this is just, it's perfect in my opinion for all those people that get a ceramic coated car, you get done with paint correction. This is that little like last wipe, or even if they go through those car washes, and there's like sometimes the car washes don't get the back part, so just spray it down, wipe it. But yeah,
it's a solution for them, and that goes back to leaving the customer what to expect and something to use afterwards. These coatings are not bulletproof. They're not just impermeable. You have to maintain. You have to keep them clean. They're going to protect. They're going to do their job, but you got to do a little bit along the way. And I know that product. I'm sure it helps them out a ton, and that's awesome that you're doing that for them. So I have a question. We've talked about training. We talked about your products. I wonder what your thoughts are on software in the industry. So that I own Detail Bookie, which is a software that's for detailers. And we try to, kind of end every show with what your thoughts are that software will have on the industry, and maybe impact that it's already having, or what do you foresee in the future?
Anybody that has a detailing business, I highly recommend having something like that, because we as detailers, we have so many things that we got to worry about. And this is one thing that, look at that. Look at that.
Speaking of, what kind of software are you using right now?
So
I don't answer that. Don't answer that. I'll talk to you after.
No. I went to my boyfriend with this, and he's like, this is great, but he already has a software for his company. So he's like, all the stuff that is in there, we kind of implement in that. So he's like, I'm like, come on, but yeah.
Hey, it's all good. Well, we want to see you on something. It doesn't, using our software, there's a few good options out there, but we know that that it's helping our industry. It's helping professionalize that.
Right.
It's transitioning us from the guy with the bucket and our brush that's traveling around just washing cars to professional detailers. This is a professional industry, and software will help transition that, because now the customers respect it. Now customers see that there's a standard in the industry that we're using to convey that to the customer. And I think it's going to it's already having a major impact. It's all, I can attribute a lot of EZN's growth, most of EZN's growth, to the software, because it gave those customers peace of mind and scheduling and understanding that the pricing is consistent and that kind of stuff. But I know you had a question too, Lexi.
Jen, I just wanted to, I bring this up, especially towards the end before we let you go. I've noticed a lot of female detailers talking in the Facebook groups, the private, the women only groups, and talking about the hardships and the adversities that they're facing as female detailers with their male counterparts. So I just wanted to see, what kind of advice can you offer to those females who may be experiencing that? I know from our conversation previously this week, you experienced some things in your career. So what is one piece of advice that you can give to these women out there who are, having a real go at it?
So, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen, but just kind of staying, like, I worked really hard to kind of like grow that respect in being a professional. So I just I don't take that crap, I just kind of like, if you stay focused and you do not indulge in it, it'll just give it a little bit and it'll go away. Just, you got better things to do.
Right.
Keep working, because if you start indulging in, or feeding into it and making yourself vulnerable, it's going to continue to go on. But just ignoring it, it's like, you'll be fine. Right now I'm just like, I don't even if I hear anything, I'm like, okay, dude, or whatever.
I know someone that's looked up to you, Skylar, that was my detail manager for a while. She's actually moved on to her boyfriend's shop over in Fort Walton. We're still, great friends. She was here for one of our
shout out to Coastal Coatings.
Yeah, Coastal Coatings. They're awesome. We're super excited. But she really looks up to you, and I'm glad to hear you tell her that, because I know in this industry it is inevitable.
It all the time.
For some reason you can watch in the bigger group or in the other groups that these guys are just going at each other. And so they look for anything to hang on to. And if you feed back into it, then they're just gonna stay on it. But if you ignore it, I mean, I don't get involved in the groups, especially the controversial stuff. But I do watch it, and I watch how these guys are so prideful and they're so like hung up on themselves that they can't get past it, and it's really unbelievable.
I mean,
I did want to drop one thing in here.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I just wanted to mention that you're going to be at the Southern Detailers Conference, and that you actually have, I guess, is it a training course that you're going to be doing there, or?
Yeah,
just
we're
kind of
supposed
like a
to be talking
showcase?
about that later on today with Joel and Marcus. But yeah, I think we're going to be doing some
Awesome.
sort of training. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, so if anybody wants to hear more about Jennifer at SDC, please tune in to that other show. You want to tell them where you're going to be at this afternoon for them to tune in to hear more about that?
Oh, there's
I think
another.
She's talking about a private conversation.
No, I don't.
She's
think it's
having
an
fun.
I
accident.
thought she was saying she was talking about that.
She's
later
like,
on.
uh-oh,
Sorry.
did I miss something?
Yeah, I thought I missed something.
like,
That's my mistake.
I didn't read that email
Yeah,
right.
is there?
Doing what?
It's coming right after this show. Are you ready?
Okay.
I can't wait to meet you there at the SDC.
Yeah,
I know you
Yeah.
guys too. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for coming on our show. We wanted to give you
Oh my
some time
God,
in the
cool.
spotlight here, talking to us. We really appreciate it. We respect you. You've done a great job in
Yep.
the industry. Looking forward to see you at Southern Detailers Conference, and thanks a lot for coming on.
No, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
All right, so
You guys
Lexi,
hungry?
yes, man.
Yeah?
I'm telling you. So I'm ready to eat.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
awesome though. How cool is she? She's just so casual and laid
So
back,
genuine.
and she is, man. She really is. She does a great job.
Well, guys, today we're going to be eating from Chalkboard Kitchen. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This restaurant is a staple in Creola.
Mhm.
They serve everything from soul food like mac and cheese to fried chicken to burgers and club sandwiches. Now, here's how you know it's going to be good food, y'all. They make everything from scratch. They hand patty their burgers. They use real cheese that's never processed. This is
Mhm.
the real deal. And today, here's what we're sampling. It's a rooster wrap with grilled chicken, bacon Swiss and their special spicy rooster sauce, a club wrap with some special sauce, baked potato salad, and 2 of their
Mm.
homemade desserts, buttermilk pie and white chocolate chip bread pudding.
I don't know about y'all, but this is absolutely my favorite time of the show. I mean, we
Oh,
get
it
to
looks
eat,
so
and that's
good.
just one thing when we were talking about this show and wanting to do it at lunchtime. I was like, the only stipulation I have is that we can eat during it, because I just think that's it's awesome. It adds a new element to it, and we know that most of these detailers are on lunch too, so they can enjoy their food. Let's dig in and see what this thing, see what it tastes like.
I tend to forget that we're podcasting when the food comes out. I
Me
completely
too.
focus
Me too.
on it.
Man, the vegetables on here, like the tomatoes and the lettuce, is so fresh.
Yeah.
You don't usually get that, like if you go to other places.
So, this is no Nashville fried chicken that I normally
Yeah.
eat there, but it's absolutely wonderful.
It's very
Let's go.
light. It's not a heavy meal, right?
Right.
So even
Yeah.
though they serve some huge, heavy
They
home
do.
cooked food at home, but for lunch, you can always get you a pasta, a wrap, and it's really good.
Potato
Uh-huh.
salad.
Is it good?
It's good. Well, look, we're going to finish up eating here. We're going to wrap up the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know next week, who we're going to have?
Oh man, we got Brett Berry from Shiny,
Shiny
Jets.
Jets,
This
that's
guy-
right.
Yeah.
So he's going to be talking about aviation training and how he does aviation detailing, right?
That's right.
And,
He's actually got an online course where he teaches aviation detailing while the whole COVID thing was going on. But as
Sure.
soon as it's over, man,
He's
I mean,
gonna be
he's going
back
to be
on site
Yeah,
doing
and
it.
he's got several
That's
places
awesome.
that are going to be opening up. So,
Well,
man,
looking forward to it. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can find us every week, every Friday, 11:30. See you later.
I'm going.
This has been another lunch break play-by-play hosted by Detail Bookie. Join us next week for auto detailing news, interviews, and tastes of the South. See you soon.